We take our cue from what Article 50 itself says, and that's absolutely clear, that the terms of our withdrawal should be negotiated against the framework of our continuing relationship. And frankly, it's impossible to take that framework into account if we're not considering what our future relationship will be. So our position has been made very clear in the Prime Minister's letter. When we triggered Article 50, we do expect the negotiations to continue in parallel.
But you know as well as anyone that this place is all about interpretation, and they're interpreting it in a very different way from you.
Well, let's start the negotiations then. The good news, of course, is that the guidelines will be settled by the end of April. We will then start the negotiations, and we will be making our position very clear. We want to talk, and we think it's most sensible to talk about our continuing relationship at the same time as we talk about the terms of withdrawal. Well, we anticipate actually that the negotiations can be completed within 2 years, but the reason we're seeking an implementation period is because we think that's the sensible thing to do for British business, to make sure that there isn't a cliff edge at the end of that 2-year period. And in terms of what it looks like, well, of course, we're going to have to see how the negotiations progress.
But it's perfectly possible that implementation period could be one where we have to abide by all the EU laws and principles, but don't have a seat at the table, don't have MEPs, don't have a commissioner, nothing.
Well, I'm afraid that until we've actually started the negotiation, it's very hard to give an assessment of that. We will be negotiating the best possible deal for the United Kingdom, and a deal that we believe will be best for the European Union too. We're going to go into these negotiations very positively and look for a sensible agreement at the end of the process. But let's wait till the negotiations start. It's impossible at this stage to say how they're going to end.